All right, let's talk about a few sports stories in the news and what can only be called a bittersweet homecoming.
Sure.
You got, yes, Met fan, bitter one at that, Andrew. All-star shortstop Jose Reyes coming back to Queens for the first time since he joined the Miami Marlins in the offseason. The Mets, they got a video tribute planned during the game as their way of saying thanks for the memories. Anyone's guess how Mets fans are going to react to his return here tonight. But, Andrew, I'm going to ask you, if you were in the stands, do you cheer for the guy? He left so everybody knows. He left as a free agent, said goodbye to the Mets, and took riches elsewhere. It's not like he won a title here. It's not like he was here for 15 years. He left in the middle of his prime.
If I was at Citi Field tonight, I would applaud him for his first at-bat. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for the service. I do not really like the idea of the video montage. I think that's a bit much. I mean, what if you give him a video montage and then all of a sudden he goes 5 for 5 against you tonight? Although I've been advised that the Mets have done that for other returning players who have come back in the past, so it's not completely unheard of. I think the montage is a bit much. I really do.
I don't, for me, I don't get the Mets in that. Citi Field, by the way, nice place. I mean, as a Yankee fan, it's a nice stadium. But look at how they did in the beginning. People went there, they're like, we're the Mets. I see more Brooklyn Dodgers here than the Mets. They have a trouble, I think, recognizing their own enough, and then they go out of their way to recognize a guy who's out there to beat him, who took somebody else's money because he didn't want to stay, or maybe the owners didn't pony up the money, whatever the case may be. He left you guys for somebody else.
There's a couple of, I think they're trying to act like mensches in all of this, and I think that's the nice thing to do. That's the polite thing to do. Well, there's enough of us in the front office of the Mets. So I think that's what they're trying to do. To me, again, it rubs me the wrong way, but as a fan, I would stand up and give him a round of applause.
Dom, would you give him the Bronx cheer right now?
Derek Jeter and A-Rod. That's my answer. That's my answer to this question. No offense. The Mets are minor league compared. No offense. A minor league.
In the same league,
a minor league compared to the New York Yankees.
Stop.
Dom, 8-9, you guys really quick here, and you're off to a decent start. I know Jeannie will boo. Oh my God, you should see.
No, they should be. The Mets. I like your cutthroatness, Richard. The Mets should be tougher. They should be tougher. They should have a win at no cost attitude. That's what we need to see, right, Andrew?
This is the sweetest I've ever heard anyone say. The sweetest I've ever heard someone say. That's a beautiful cutthroat attitude.
Right.
All right, let's go next
I'm
here
proud of you, Richard.
to oxymoronic names here. And first off, you got the latest news coming from New Orleans from the unsaintly Saints here. If Bountygate wasn't bad enough, and we all know the story by now here, you got a lot of suspensions that are either already announced and more coming for players that were involved here. The team's GM allegedly now, even though he denies it, spying on coaches from opposing teams, and again with a nice logo here of the fleur-de-lis and the Saints down there. But I mean, if you're Roger Goodell, you can't give these guys enough of a beatdown every so often. Not only were you incentivizing guys to go above and beyond the whistle and rewarding them, but now all of a sudden the guy apparently, and this is allegedly, they had a system where you could hear what your own coaches were saying, the offensive and defensive coordinators to each other. They changed it so that they could listen to what the other teams were saying and calling their plays. And it's a clear no-no in every rule book there was. And apparently right after Katrina, that thing went away. But for a few years, they were doing it.
Question is, how many other teams are doing this? I mean, no other team's gotten caught
Until
doing
they
it.
got caught, I don't care.
It wouldn't surprise me if a lot of other teams were doing it.
And ladies, are we really surprised?
How many of you are there?
Are we really surprised at this? Are we really surprised? The level that's put, the pressure that's put on these guys to win.
Yeah.
Are we really surprised?
You know why I'm surprised? Guys, they're mercenaries, not just the players, but the coaches in this business. No coaching staff stays intact. You get whacked from some coaching staff, and you know what's going on. You're running your mouth to everybody. I'm shocked this stayed as quiet as it did.
Which is one of the reasons why I think a lot of other teams were probably doing it. That's one of the reasons why you didn't hear about it when coaches would go from one team to the other team. My guess is the reaction from a coach leaving and going to another team would be, "Oh, we should try that here," as opposed to what blow the whistle.
Nobody can keep a secret anymore. I don't. Granted, they kept this apparently quiet for a few years now, but nobody, I believe, in the world, when more than two people know, you can't keep secrets anymore in the digital age. So for anybody to think that they're going to get away with this and it's not going to get out, the guy's going to lose his job over this, if it's proven. Now, he denies it, But if it's proven, he's gone.
As a Patriots fan, I keep mum on
Exactly,
these issues.
Miss
I say
Spygate.
nothing about coaches.
For the oxymoronic name part, this is actually fairly consistent with New Orleans Saints, and the Saints go marching in. When they go marching to Mardi Gras, it's not exactly saintly behavior, so we're okay with the oxymoronic name
Keep your
there.
beads to yourself. All right, then there is Artest.
No.
Meta World Peace.
There you
Excuse
go.
me.
Oh, boy.
If you didn't see this clip here, watch closely. Right after a duck. Now watch the left elbow here. Meta World. Artest, whatever you want to call the guy.
What you call a foul on
Yeah,
me?
he goes, "How dare you threaten me?" Well, he scores in a game against the Thunder here, big rival, and then coming down the court, he throws an elbow. He says he was just celebrating after a big dunk, but make no mistake here, you got a major player on the Thunder that still isn't clear to play because he got an elbow right to the head. And watch here, see this?
And
Boom.
down goes Frazier.
But again, not only has this guy who was involved in the brawl at the Palace in Auburn Hills, remember when the Pacers went in the stands and they've gotten that fight in Detroit, he's got other problems too. Dom, his name is Meta World Peace. He changes his name to being about peace, love, and happiness, and he's putting the guy on the floor.
I'm not defending this fool, but have you heard some of the things that fans yell out to these athletes?
I don't care. The guy was just standing there. They got an elbow in the ear.
Some of these guys have been called monkeys by fans, have had bananas. That's not cool. This guy needs to be out the league. Yeah. Artest,
and we know
Meta,
from Queens,
Meta
right?
World Peace, whatever he is, he needs to meta on out the way.
He's Syrian World Peace.
I don't understand the name changes. I really don't get it.